Meet my boyfriend Jimmy. You guys haven't been properly acquainted yet.
Nice to meet you, world.
I've been getting a lot of questions about this guy, asking, who is he? Are you guys dating? What's happening? So I thought I would tell you guys the story of how we met. The story begins with all the beautiful pictures that you see on my Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. Those pictures were taken by a photographer named Siri, who happens to be
my sister-in-law.
When she heard that Jimmy and I were both single, she started like whispering in our parents' ears and got them to bug us enough until we finally contacted each other.
So we finally broke in and started Facebook messaging each other, which eventually turned into texting. She gave me her number, by the way, just for the record. And then we decided to go on a date during Christmas break since I was home, and we went to Applebee's.
So we got to Applebee's. It was a really, really cool scene where he had pulled up on one side of Applebee's and I had pulled up on the other. So when we met up, we were like walking towards each other towards the door. So it was really, really cute. What was your first impression of me?
She was late, so I mean, whatever. I was worried, but when she showed up, it was all better. And then walking in front of Applebee's and seeing her for the first time in person, she was a lot smaller than I thought she would be. She was also pretty shy, but I kept asking her questions, which made the conversation keep rolling. What was your first impression?
My first impression of Jimmy, wow, he is way taller than I thought he'd be. I made him give me a hug because I wanted to see how tall I was compared to him, and then, you know, obviously have like an excuse to put my hands around this really, really attractive, tall little guy that's, you know, I'm on a date with. And then he opened the door for me. Then we sat down and started talking. Jimmy has this thing where he talks really slow when he's thinking about what he has to say. And so up until this point, all I knew about him were a few pictures on Facebook that showed him playing football, wrestling, and just a lot of sports and outdoor things. So that in combination with the slow speech, I was like, oh, he's really, really nice, but he's a dumb jock. But he just kept telling these little witty jokes. And eventually I was like, oh, he's really smart. He's really smart and really funny. And he's studying to be a doctor, so he has to be smart.
And then eventually I convinced her to go to a movie with me right after, which was The Hobbit.
So in the movie theater, Jimmy did this really cute thing where he kept like leaning over to me and like whispering little things in my ear about the movie, which, you know, might be annoying, but for me I thought it was really cute because like movie dates, I always worry you're just gonna be sitting there, not talking,
kind of
not doing anything.
Boring.
Exactly, yeah. But it wasn't. It ended up being this really, really cute, fun experience where we were like laughing and joking back and forth the whole time. Then after the movie,
I convinced her once again to go to my house, and we played a little foosball, ping pong, and then watched some Duck Dynasty.
Okay, so I have to tell you the story of walking into his house. So on the drive over, Jimmy was like, I have to warn you, my dad has this obsession with cheese right now. And I was like, okay, I mean, it's kind of appropriate because we're from Wisconsin. So he tells me this, and I'm like, well, that's just kind of, that's a weird fact to share with me, but that's all right. So then I walk into the house, right? So the first thing I see is his dad looking at me through a hole in a piece of Swiss cheese. I was like, oh, this is perfect. He was just telling me obsessed with cheese, and then this.
And then she quickly found out how weird my family was.
Fine with me, because weird is way better. At about 2 in the morning, I decided it's probably time for me to go home now.
So after that, I drove her back to her car, which was still at Applebee's.
The whole way back to Applebee's, I was like psyching myself up, like, okay, you gotta do it, you gotta do it, you gotta give him a kiss. Not on the lips, just on the cheek. And so he got there, and I turned sideways to give him a kiss. He starts turning his face towards me, and so my kiss, which I intended to be right here, ended up right there. And then I bolted out of the car, didn't shut his door all the way, jumped into my car, and drove away.
So on the drive home, I was just telling myself, don't text her right away, don't text her right away. It'll seem really desperate, but I did as soon as I got home. Walked in the door and I texted her. I was like, I had a great time. I hope we can hang out again. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, it made me so happy because I had a really good time, and it just reassured me that he had a really good time too. So we hung out the next day, and we basically have been hanging out every day we possibly can since then.
Literally, every single day.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the story of our first date. Just so you know, this guy here, Jimmy, he has his own channel called Jimbo's Slice of Life. I finally convinced him to start a channel.
Check it out.
So you should head over there, say hi, subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye!